Hello, I'm Shweta Singhal and we are Team 13, Hackslash. Our sponsor is Dr. Timothy Linguist and Richard Whitehouse. Let me first introduce you to the team members. That is Gautam Nayak, Arpit Jaiswal, Mihir Bhatt, Senthimal Sindhu and myself. We are working on developing a system for Institute of Human Origins, that is IHO, which has an existing static mobile application. The current mobile application is not able to fulfill the customer's requirement. A customer is Miss Julie Russ from IHO. They want a system where she can update their mobile application with updated information about all the current things happening at IHO. So in this project, we aim to build a system where through a desktop application, the administrator can edit any information like put updated images in gallery, information about lecturers, or any new event happening, etc. on the desktop application. This updated information will be available on the server in the form of an XML, from which the information will be updated in the mobile applications, both Android and iOS. The whole project comprises of three main components: Java Swing desktop application, Android, and iOS mobile applications. Gotham and Sindhu will be working on the Java Swing application, iOS will be handled by me and Arpit, and Mihir will be working on Android. In this phase, we have worked and completed four documents: project charter, project plan, software requirement specification, software design document. Also, we have used Taiga for sprint management, GitHub for access control and task management, and Slack as a communication tool. We have successfully completed three sprints in this semester. Before 27th October, we were working on a different project, but we tried to make up for the lost time by completing all the designing in this semester. Now, everyone in the team will talk about their individual contributions towards the project.
Hello, my name is Arpit Jaiswal and my role on the team is an iOS developer. Initially, our project got changed and we finalized our project with Human Origins Department at Arizona State University. I have been part of all meetings and major decision making for the project. I worked on getting the current iOS application up and running on our simulators, tested the application to find modules which were not functioning, and places where user experience can be enhanced. Also, I started working on Project Charter. Parallelly, I was studying Swift 3 documentation and method converting code from Objective-C to Swift. I contributed towards working on drafting sponsoring needs and management proposal of work schedule, cost, and quality assurance. Then the team met customer for the meeting. In that meeting, I did application walkthrough with customer and pointed out the non-functional and redundant part of the application. I also suggested few points and improvements on the contact us page. After this, I started working on software design document where I documented detailed system design and policy and tactics for the project. I also contributed to software requirement documents with use case diagrams and formatting of those diagrams. On application front, I have completed the storyboard design and screen throw of all the functionalities on the mobile application. I, along with team member Shweta, plan on completing our first prototype by the end of January. On whole, it was a great experience working in a team, and working with customer for requirements gathering was one of the most learning experience. Thank you.
Hi all, I'm Gautam Nayak from Team Backslash. In this project, I'm responsible for development of Java Swing desktop application. In this semester, the team had to meet the project sponsor every week, and I attended all the weekly meetings. In one of the meetings, we discussed about the project, the high-level requirements, and project scope. Following the discussion, a charter was drafted. I specifically contributed towards penning down the information related to the project sponsor, sponsor needs, requirements, work schedule, cost, and quality assurance. In addition to this, I was involved in eliciting the requirements and component design information from the customer and the project sponsor respectively. I also suggested a few improvements in the mobile application to improve the user experience. I took the lead while gathering the requirements of the Java Swing application and took steps to ensure that the requirements were complete and consistent. I gathered the details about the valuable end user information and the intended environment where the application will be executed. After requirement analysis and considering the fact that the system has to run on multiple platforms, we decided to build our application with Java Swing since it is platform independent. I was also involved in the discussions addressing the project deadline along with the decisions making regarding the choice of hosting server and the cost involved. Once we had sufficient information, we started writing the SRS. My contributions to SRS include drafting the purpose of the project, intended audience and reading suggestions, product scope, software quality attributes, various software, hardware and end user interfaces, and brief detail about the conventions followed in the document. Once all the documents were drafted, they were verified by the project sponsor and signed off. Parallelly, I started learning about Java Swing and developed some initial screens. Once I got an understanding of the effort required to build the component, I formed a timeline keeping in mind the deadline of the project. In the next semester, my main focus will be to build a desktop application which controls the content in the mobile application. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mihir Bhatt. In this project, I am mainly working on the Android version of IHO mobile application. Initially, when the project kicked off, I studied, analyzed, and understood the requirements from Android perspective and prepared myself for the first meeting with our faculty sponsor. When the project got changed, I was again involved in analyzing and designing the system architecture and also understanding the project from the Android perspective. My main task was to build and run the existing Android application and to study the workflow of the application. As the application was running on the older versions, I did Gradle upgrades and modified the existing manifest file to build the application. After the successful build, I ran the application and had the look and feel of how the application is working and studied the workflow of the application. I also listed down parts of the application that were not working fine or throwing errors. For example, I got database exceptions while performing some activities. Some activities were not running fine, so I listed them down and brought them up in the first meeting with our customer. Apart from involving myself in the Android part, I was also involved and contributed to the documentation part of the project. I contributed to about 50% in project plan, 40% in software requirement specification, and 10 to 15% in software design specification. I was also involved in the formatting of the documentations. Apart from the documentations and the technical part, I was actively involved in the meetings with the team and faculty sponsors, and in highlighting challenges that the team is facing and suggesting different ideas to streamline the project. Also, yeah, so that was about it. Overall, it was a good, healthy experience. It was it was great working with the team and the faculty sponsor. I definitely learned a lot in this project. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sendamal Sindhu. As a part of ASU IHO mobile application, I'll be working as a Java Swing developer. So initially we met with our sponsor Dr. Julie Russ and discussed the requirements for the desktop application and the mobile application. I also learned that the desktop application has to be developed right from scratch and also that the user should be able to update the content in the mobile application using this desktop application. So the content should be reflected in the server. Later on, we started off with the documentation section. I worked on the project management plan and the software requirement specifications document. In the project management plan, I worked on the phase deliverables for each timeline, the project team responsibilities for each timeline, and also created the Gantt chart. With respect to the software requirement specifications, I worked on the overall product perspective, that is the user classes and characteristics, assumptions and dependencies, design considerations, the design constraints, etc. I also worked on the non-functional requirements of the system. So the non-functional requirements involved performance requirements, safety requirements, security requirements, etc. Later on, it was decided that the prototype delivery for the Java Swing application will be in the last week of January. So I have started working on the same, and I started off with the Oracle documentation for Java Swing. So the prototype delivery will be done in the last week of January. So this is the plan for the next semester. Thank you.
I have taken up the responsibility of the facilitator and team lead for this project. Throughout the semester, I was responsible for coordination and communication amongst the team and also with the team sponsor. I attended all the meetings regularly and have actively taken part in any decision making in these team meetings. As a facilitator, I took notes in every team meeting with the sponsor and later sent out these meeting minutes to everyone present in the meeting. These meeting minutes were helpful in eliciting requirements when we made these documents. I'm also responsible for iOS development aspect of this project. The aim is to make the app adaptive to any information that is changed on the desktop application. Also, we want to migrate the code base from Objective-C to Swift 3. This is an important aspect since maintenance of code will become easier. Until now, I have done the initial setup and did feasibility testing on how we can migrate the code. Then we interacted with the client from IHO and had a detailed discussion about every screen and how she would prefer the pages be like. Based on which I have designed the storyboard and how various classes will interact with each other. In documentation, I've worked on software design document, system overview, design considerations, detailed system design, etc. I've also worked on work breakdown structure. Alongside these documents, I've maintained the log file, Tiger, and GitHub. It has been an enriching experience until now to work on this project, and I'm looking forward to the next semester when we start the development. We plan to deliver the first prototype of Java Swing application by January and the entire project by April 10th. IOCHA has a big event coming up on April 10th, so we want the app should be up, running, and available on both App Store and Play Store by then. We as a team have made a constant effort to take feedback from our sponsor and discuss any blockage with him. So far, we are on schedule and are hopeful that we will deliver the project on or before time according to the deadlines provided by the customer and the sponsor. Thank you.